Hello, welcome back.
Hello, hello. Y'all ready to destroy something beautiful?
You know it.
Okay. So your pleasant, rainy, overcast, business as usual cruise has become strangely placid. The crystal sea kind of extends calmly in all directions around you among these sort of ivory buildings that jut up from it, and you can't, like, despite the violence in your heart, you can't but help but feel a sense of, like, something here has been lost by the world and regained in some way, and you're set to pull it down. There's a sort of sadness building in you somewhere. And speaking of sadness buildings, you see Mercer's Hold in the distance, getting larger and larger. And what are you? You're just gonna gun it until you either see opposition or get within range?
I'm going straight in and watching the rangefinder spool down on the cannon until it's at its long range, whatever. I think the grenade launcher is the same, so me and Navari will be ready. And as soon as it hits the right number, I start shooting during the drive towards the hold. I just cut the cannon loose and sort of pan it back and forth a little bit, and start shelling windows. And now I'm assuming that Mercer's Hold is the same, right? It looks new and it's upright, and because hers was like super canted.
Yeah, hers was all tilty and had like wooden floors that were built to like flatten out, and it was very like heavily engineered, but very much a scavenged building. But this, her hold now, and there's no question that it's her hold. It just emerges from the water as though a glacier or an island might. Seems a natural part of the environment. There's like an obvious like entrance, and there's like some docks built around the outside. And you can see people like moving around on the docks as you approach. So it's, I mean, Frankie, you're bearing down on the target.
Yep.
Navari, you're just like up on the deck, like ready to fire? You're muted. That's okay.
I'm waiting for the go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, the cannon is like kind of back over Navari's shoulder, sort of. So like the first shell like cracks and whips past you.
Which is my cue.
That's your cue.
Yeah.
When you get the tinnitus, start shooting.
You can't hear real good. Just
Yeah, the war deafness takes over.
It's actually like a narrowing experience, right? Like this, it takes away all the extra senses.
It's like putting blinders on a horse.
Focus, exactly. Yes, exactly. This is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm about to go.
The last sound you hear is the thump of the shell, and then it's all just a faint ringing.
Yeah, it goes into the Saving Private Ryan soundtrack.
Yes.
What are you doing, Gretch? Are you on the deck? Are you?
Well, I think this is something we established like way back in the first episode, but I have the like little glasses with the like milk bottle or like milk carton lenses, and it's because I'm like very sensitive to light, and so now that we're out in like full on sunlight, it's just like,
this is probably the first time you've ever been exposed to like direct sunlight in this way.
Yeah, and it's like very painful for Gritch, like, and so I kind of like duck below or maybe like into the cabin with Frankie,
okay,
at the very least, and I'm like trying to stay out of like direct sunlight. But I would love to open my brain about all this weird shit.
Sure. Yeah. Just remember, as long as you're out in the direct sunlight, you get a -2 to your armor class, and you have disadvantage on all your attack rolls.
Yeah, disadvantages on all my attack.
Gritch is a nocturnal.
Yeah. Dark elf. Yeah. Okay. So before you do that, though, you go to open your brain, you seek out the doorway into the rusty interior of your maelstrom brain space. Something bars your way. And not something outside either. something that comes from within. You can feel like a burning in your veins and this like terrible throbbing in your head when you try to go into that place, and it's like something has latched hooks into your body or whatever, and is like dragging you away from the maelstrom, and you're struggling against it, and the metaphor of your flesh is tearing as you try to pass through this barrier.
Cool.
So can you act under fire first before it happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
I barely do it.
Okay. All right. So you're able to push through, but yeah, just like it's not the way it normally is, and you can definitely see the sense that like the thing growing inside you is separating you from the maelstrom.
So like this is from the sickness?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing growing inside you. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or that or I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Biz tell you shouldn't maelstrom while you're pregnant? Yeah, like and it's the desperate like clinging embrace of something trying to keep itself alive, as if the maelstrom is somehow like antithetical to its existence, and by you going there you endanger it. So it's just like desperately like trying to pull you back.
Good.
So I guess this is the question on your 7 to 9 here. Do you drag the thing with you, kicking and screaming, into the maelstrom, or do you try to tear free of it and leave it behind as you go into this place?
Oh, it can come. I'll drag it to hell with me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the maelstrom is confused. Your vision is not the way it usually is, but we'll find out how when you go ahead and roll. And
maybe it'll be awesome.
Plus, yeah, you'll just use the thing to blow through the maelstrom.
So
close.
So close. Well, hang on. Let's think about this.
Help me, Frankie.
Yeah. Let's think about this as gamers for a second, because a help here would be epic.
I don't know that Frankie would be the one to be in a position to help you necessarily.
No, I think it might be Navari, because Navari has her brain open already.
Are we together right now?
I mean, you're all on the boat.
Abstractly speaking,
you're in this. Yeah, abstractly, you're in this unit
I see.
moving through.
I mean, I'll totally help if that's what you're asking. Or, yeah, I would definitely. I mean, we're all trying to succeed in this mission together. And if I am opening my brain, then
yeah, sure. Like it's you guys open your brain to different places in different ways, but it's still the psychic maelstrom.
Well,
right?
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that like Gritch, you're trying to get into the maelstrom, and you have this passenger trying to like drown you in the psychic ether as you're trying to get to it, right? And I think that's a good analogy, is like this thing feels like someone who can't swim and is drowning and is clinging to you and like pulling you under.
Yeah.
I think if I'm in my glass box in my maelstrom, then there's probably like a little window of Gritch over here.
Well, you're Pharos, right? You're the fucking lighthouse on the horizon. You're the beacon of light. Like the maelstrom loves Navari, right? Like the maelstrom, as far as we've seen, like speaks your glyph language, and like it's all about Navari. Because I mean, if you think about it, Navari, you're doing the first half of the job. The maelstrom needs people to die to be able to replace them, and you are doing that. So it makes sense for Gritch to like lock onto you as like a way to pass through this chaos and to get to the dark, rusty place where the Minotaur lives. Cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, awesome.
So go ahead and roll your hex with Gritch.
Is it 2d6 something?
Just roll 2d6 and then add
your
plus your hex. Yeah.
My hex is +1.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
7 or better. We'll get there. You go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you help, but you expose yourself to danger, or harm, or bad shit will occur to you. I just need to check something on one of my fronts for a second here. Okay, here's your choice, Navarre. You can feel through the trance, right? Because you've kind of like gone into your eyes rolled back, like step back from the world navigation trance. You're the shining beacon on the ship. You feel Gritch like drowning in the ether, like their passenger pulling them under. And you have two choices. You can step down from the metaphorical platform of the lighthouse. You can step away from the maelstrom's light and turn your back on it to help Gritch, or you can expose yourself to what's making Gritch sick by doing so, because there's a psychic vector. Which of those things would you like to do?
Would I know that I was exposing myself to harm?
It is absolutely a conscious choice. Yeah, if you reach out and take Gritch's hand, so to speak, that touch will potentially infect you too.
Navarre doesn't think that harm matters to her, so I think she would help him.
And you see this harm as the same as being shot or stabbed?
Yeah.
Okay. So this counts, and this is important because it's Gritch. This counts as intimate contact.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're doing the whole magic card first in last out thing, do you want to throw a deep brain scan into the stack, or do you want to just be helpless and get pulled up out of the murk?
I feel like it would just be too much going on, so we'll save that for later.
Okay.
We'll scan Navarra another time, and it'll be a whole big deal.
Okay. All right. So here's what happens. Navarre, you see this shape. You see Gritch trying to break through whatever is like holding them back, and despite the clear and present danger of Gritch's disease passenger, you reach out with your mind and pull them through. And I think that what you see, Gritch, is as you pass through into the sort of rusty darkness, the sort of blood-smelling rusty darkness of the maelstrom. You see this, like, you see Navarre in silhouette, like reaching out to you, but you see also the like lurking shape of the Minotaur behind Navarre, and it's no question to you. You see that in perfect clarity that two of them are aligned. And as you pass through into the maelstrom and beyond, you leave behind the infection. So Navarre, you are infected with Tau's disease.
Am I not infected anymore?
No, you both are.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you definitely are. But you do get the impression that it affects Navarre differently somehow. There's something else going on there. Okay, cool. So we do the like the Superman. You slingshot past the gravity of Navarre and just like right through the maelstrom. What does that look like? Do you just go through a different door, or do you? How does the bypassing work for you?
I like the idea of like a stairwell, or like it was out of reach, and then Navarre like is like essentially like pushing these stairs or acting as stairs, or like pushing them up out of the ground, and I'm able to like walk up.
Okay.
Andrew, can you say a word about, in case people are just tuning in, like what does the 12 plus mean for the...
I mean, I feel like we should have a moment of what the fuck is going on here.
So
but I also
what is about to happen?
I also feel like if you're watching this and you are questioning like what the fuck's going on here, you've got 7 more episodes you need to go back and but
Yes.
in this exact moment, yeah, Gritch, tell us.
Okay, so because I've opened this move, so let's just review the whole like opening your brain thing.
Sure.
So it says, when you open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom, roll plus weird. On a hit, the MC will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation and ask you a question or two. Answer them. I love how blunt that is. Anyways, on a 10 to 11, the MC will give you a good detail. On a 7 to 9, the MC will give you an impression. If you already know all there is to know, the MC will tell you that. On a 12 plus, you reach through the world's psychic maelstrom to what's beyond it. And the only further information it provides is, I envy your finding out.
Hang on to your butts. So cool. So you're able to reach. I feel like it's like you find a door that you maybe never noticed before, or like you said, is like out of reach, and it's not a door meant for you. This is like backstage access. Like you're seeing you've been on stage the whole time, right? The Maelstrom is this sort of place where things happen, but there's a behind the scenes, and you somehow have managed to find the door that no human mind is meant to pass through.
So maybe in terms of the like ship metaphor, this is like up on top on the deck of the ship.
Yeah, totally. You're emerging from like a hatch out into
so
this.
Instead of going through a door, it's a like above me. Like
you gotta turn the.
Yeah, and maybe because Navarre, because Navarre helped you, and the Minotaur is like so distracted with Navarre, like it has its like big creepy presence like wrapped around Navarre. You're able to
busy finding bodies to reanimate and shit.
Yeah. It's picked up on Frankie and Navarre's bloodlust and is like, yes, let's go. But yeah, you use that to evade it and and emerge.
And so for the first time while being here, I'm not being like followed by it, which probably is like this noticeable relief.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So I'm gonna be like super metaphorical with you, and if you have specific questions, you can ask me a few.
Great.
So you emerge from the hatch, I guess, into a blinding light. And when your eyes adjust, you're standing in like a forest. And maybe the thing that you think of first is that safe place where you had gone sometimes with Smith July before. And it's super clear in your head, like your memory right now is perfect. Like you remember everything that's happened in the whole game so far, every conversation, like all of that stuff is like so clear and crisp to you. And like you know that Smith July was there and then taken away, and that Eugene was there, and like the whole situation, you remember all of that. All of this is really clear to you, and you're standing in this forest that reminds you of that space, and you're looking out into the daylight, basically, that stretches across the whole archipelago. You're standing up at a high point, because remember, there's like a valley right on the map, and you can see everything. You can see like Mercer's Hold from here. You can see where the Fisher Clan waters are. And it's like an inversion of what we saw before, where like all of the sort of weird zones on the map, everything is right and good in those places, and everything else is a work in progress. Probably to the fact where you can see like the buildings that have like fallen have like strange scaffolding around them, and you can see movement as like the bricks are being removed and these buildings are being rebuilt. And again, that sense of like calm and stuff is there. And to a certain degree, I think you feel like you've passed from what's beyond the Maelstrom through the rusty Maelstrom place and then back. So the general feeling is much like it was when you were just on the boat. I think you sense this, you have this feeling of like clarity around the nature of the Maelstrom and of the Minotaur, in that they are protocols put in place. They're the scaffolding around the world meant to keep things in place while the rebuilding is being done.
And this rebuilding, is it like it's gonna be great and this is for you guys? Like,
fuck no. No, it's like it's they're
is this the Minotaur's like gift to the world, or is this the Minotaur like, I'm taking everything over?
The Minotaur is the warden, the Maelstrom is the prison wall, and the earth is the slaughterhouse, basically. It's the farm upon which you are being cultivated.
Oh joy.
Yeah. And you've somehow slipped the wall and are standing outside of the farm now and can see it from this high hill.
Yeah, and like see it for what it is.
Yeah.
All right. That's creepy.
Yep. So I think so. You look around, and you see this and everything, but you also, I think maybe after you have a chance to like look around and kind of process some of that, you look down and you can see that the like lush grass where you were standing is slowly like withering and dying and turning black in a like widening circle around your feet.
Like me coming here is destroying it.
You brought something bad here with you.
Oh, good. And do I get any impression about like the people, like the weird maggot replacement people or anything? Are those around?
You're still very much at a distance. This is like the Zarathustra on the mountaintop kind of thing. Like you just see this from, you can see movement at best, sort of across the vista, but yeah, you're outside of notice. The prison guards haven't noticed you've slipped their bonds.
Well, I think maybe Gritch like wanders around for a long time, but that like when I come back, I can't remember. Like that clarity that I had only exists here. And so when I go back, like I know that I could remember everything while I was there, but I can't actually remember what I remembered. So yeah, maybe I come back with this impression of like this experience and these feelings, but it's kind of like feeling things when you're high.
And where are you when you're doing that? Are you just like alone in your room, or?
I'm like up in the cabin with Frankie.
Okay.
Or not the cabin, but the bridge or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So Frankie, I think that maybe you hear Gritch make like a sobbing sound or like a choking sound. You look over and they just have like tears like streaming down their face. And then they like blink hard. And that's when Gritch, you kind of like come to and like stagger back a little bit. And you feel this like dramatic sense of loss and guilt. Like you can't place it necessarily, but there's this like, very bad feeling in the pit of your stomach about something that just happened.
Woo.
Yeah. And Frankie's just like, kill. And I think maybe that's what happens. Maybe you hear Gritch make that sound and you like look over and then you get within range and then we hear the report of the cannons start to fire. And we can see the like pristine kind of like ivory looking walls start to like crumble and blow apart as the cannon starts like taking strafing shots and blowing out windows and cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So I guess this is a battle has started. We're kind of in the like the early shooting phase.
Yeah.
And you can see, I think Navarre, you can see people starting to like scramble into boats on the docks, and there's I guess probably like 3 boats that start like coming towards you.
And I'm in range now with my grenade launcher.
Yes.
Okay.
So in a battle, just to cover again, the first 3 kind of ticks are maneuvering and incidental fire. Shooting at a distance, not really doing any meaningful harm. 1 or 0 harm, ricochet, stuff like that. And then concentrated fire in the last 3 kind of ticks, the intense part. You can do all the normal stuff you would do, but you also have available, like we did in the battle before, you can provide covering fire. So in this case, like if you wanted to create an opportunity to protect somebody from getting shot at, that's a thing. You can maintain an untenable position. So if you come under fire and still want to just like keep standing your ground and hosing the tower, you can, but it's ignoring harm. If you just want to avoid getting hurt during the whole fight, you can stay down. That's a thing you can do. I don't think any of you are going to do that. Or if someone else does something and you want to follow through, you can act on their move as well. So what do y'all want to do?
Excuse me. So I was just gonna try to aim at the closest ship to like blow it up. Okay.
Yeah, the three ships together, the 3 boats constitute a small gang. There are 2 harms, small gang with 1 armor, but they do. Well, we'll get to that. So they're a 2 harm gang by default.
I am a 3 harm gang by default.
You sure are.
So, Adam, I think, unless things are different, the first 2 ticks, like maneuvering and incidental fire, those happen if nobody starts with concentrated fire. If they do,
I'm keeping track. We're already halfway there. So you have maybe one. Yeah, you have like one tick of something, but as soon as you fired that cannon, things start to get real.
We're hitting 6 o'clock right there, I think.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Okay, gotcha. So
for sure.
Well, if everyone else is contemplating their move, mine is really easy. I want to read a situation.
Okay.
I think I'm going aggro. That's my move, probably.
Okay. All right, Gritch, what would you like to know?
Who's in control here?
Nobody yet. Navari thinks she will be. But yeah, I mean, you have the upper hand, you have the initiative, but there's no one has seized control yet.
That's wishful thinking.
Would you like to try to seize control, Navari?
So would I roll not to be fucked with to be a gang, or is it just something I get?
It's just built in. You don't have to roll or anything.
I would. I'm taking a shot as soon as Frankie's gun goes off for sure. At the closest boat. So I just roll hard.
Okay. So the closest boat, yeah. All right. So just to clear up, so they have one shot rocket launcher, which they are using in this exchange on the Vixen.
Oh, okay.
After that, their harm will drop, but they're 4 harm right now. So that's the first boat. The fastest boat pulls up. You can see someone driving it and someone behind them with like a shoulder-mounted rocket, and that's your first target.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm actually not going aggro. I'm seizing by force here. We're fighting. They can attack us too. Okay, I wasn't clear on that. All right. So I'll roll mine too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna seize their lives with my gun.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like that's what Navari's doing already. So you'd just be helping.
Different though, like you could.
Okay, if Navari's already doing that,
or something,
yeah.
Which might be good.
Sorry, Andrew, say again.
Maybe you should be doing something different, like either maintaining an untenable thing or following through on Navarre's action or providing covering fire so that we don't get fucking lit up by a rocket launcher. I don't know.
Yeah, if you continue, if it's like all guns forward, the other 2 boats will be able to like get into a flanking position. So while Navarre is shooting at that boat, if you want to use the gun to drive them back or like keep your momentum going, that's something you could do, Frankie.
Yes, I do want to do that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, why don't you maintain an untenable position or course? This will keep them at bay with the cannon. Because if you succeed, you'll only come under incidental fire from them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So you're holding them back with a gun, and she's picking targets. And okay, so
and I'm also like I'm not maneuvering. Like still going dead at them, but instead of maneuvering out of the way, I'm like using the gun to.
Yeah, it's like the defensive. You're basically doing cover fire sort of for the boat as it moves because you're trying to clear the perimeter they don't want to enter or they're going to get cannoned.
Right.
Okay, cool. So, Navari, what are you going to pick for your seizing by? Nicely done. You're seizing by force. So the boat, you're looking at 4 harm.
Okay, so the boat has. Let's calculate this. So it's now a tank. So it has 2 armor plus 1 from Daredevil. So it has 3 armor.
Nice.
So we're currently taking 1 harm to the boat.
Yeah. True that.
Factor that into your seizing, Abison.
And if the boat takes 1 harm, it's none of the harm will blow through to the passengers. So it'll just be a hit on the side of the boat.
To the Vixen.
Okay, so we could potentially soak that 1 harm if you don't want to choose that choice.
Okay.
So,
I get 3, obviously, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. If it's only 1 harm to the Vixen, I think we can take it. So I'll do the other 3.
Yeah, I think
definite hold, inflict terrible harm, impress, dismay, frighten my enemy.
Nice.
Okay.
The Navari SOP, all 3.
Which was the one you didn't take?
Inflict, or we take little harm.
Okay, cool. So the boat, yeah. So they managed to get the rocket off before they get Navaried into oblivion. But the rocket it's not a direct hit. It like skims the side of the boat and blows up next to it, throwing shrapnel and burning the side of the hull. The boat kind of like tilts and lists a little bit, but just cosmetic harm to the side of the boat for now.
Cool.
And then you return fire with several grenades. And how much harm do you deal?
Plus
5.
I don't even know how to tell. I'm so bad.
Your grenade launcher's 4, and then your blood.
Yes.
So
It is 5. You're right.
+1.
Because I have blood crazed. So yeah.
Oh, but it's actually 6 because you choose to inflict serious harm.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So I roll something, right?
Horrible.
It's fought very often.
So they've got armor, which reduces it down to 5, which is already the highest thing on the gang suffering scale.
Do I have to roll this damage?
No.
Oh.
No.
But what everybody does need to do after Frankie makes her move is roll the harm move at 0, because everyone on the boat takes 0 harm, technically, as the boat gets like jostled around.
Wait, do we still take 0 if it doesn't blow through, Adam?
Does it say? I think it says 0 harm can blow through to passengers, not no harm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we
So you
just
won't
roll
take any.
2d6?
You won't take any harm, but you'll make the move.
It is an important distinction in this game.
Yeah, it definitely is.
0 harm and no
So
harm.
of the 3 boats, yeah, one of them is just completely obliterated, and the other 2 are dismayed and held at bay by Frankie. So from those 2 boats, from Mercer's other 2 boats, you will come under only incidental fire for the rest of the battle. You'll be able just to like hold them at bay and unload the grenades on the side of the hold.
Nice.
And then after that, all of you need to make a 0 harm roll for me.
Okay.
2d6, Adam.
Yeah, 2d6 plus nothing.
Okay.
And mark your XP too, Stephanie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Yep.
XP.
Dope.
Okay. So
Murray's good on this one, remember.
For Navarre,
Mara catches the worst of it.
Yeah. And so I can either choose you're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed, or I can choose 2 things. I'm going to choose 2 things. So you're so focused on the kill and so successful at it that you don't flinch or dodge or brace yourself for the incoming rocket that hits the side of the boat. You get twisted sideways and knocked over, and your grenade launcher goes overboard.
Damn it.
Yeah, you lose your grip on what you're holding, and you get knocked down, lose your footing.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so when the boat tips, you like stagger sideways and hit the railing. You manage to catch the railing, so you don't go over, but your grenade launcher now is gone into the deep. So
I don't even have time to dive.
You could, maybe, if that's what you want your next action to be. If you just want to dive in after it.
I mean,
That's
what
definitely
I
an
did last
option.
time this happened.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have all this armor on again, and I had to take it all off to swim back up.
I mean, the armor would help you sink faster to catch it, but,
Yeah, but I had to
let's
take
get
it
that
off
in a
to swim
second. Gritch, your harm failed, which is fine. You're in the bridge and safe from getting jostled too badly. And then Frankie, I got to pick one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, you missed noticing something. That's completely fine. Okay. So, what is everybody doing in the next instance? There's 2 boats coming towards you, but they're being held at a distance that you have a much larger range on them. Everybody, like the boat's coming under incidental fire, but you shouldn't be. They're not going to be able to like sink you or anything.
I don't think I would dive in if we're still in the middle of a battle. So I have a sawed-off shotgun.
Mhm.
Are we that close Probably not.
Well, no, because Frankie's holding the boats back.
Okay.
If you're like,
I
Frankie,
have my hunting rifle. I can pick
you say to
off.
Frankie, like, hey, let him get close, and you jump on one of their boats, then you could use your sawed-off shotgun.
Well, I have a hunting rifle also, so
Okay.
I'm just going to have to use what I have, and I'll use the shotgun option when they do inevitably get closer.
Okay.
Yeah, since you're a gang, like, using the hunting rifle is slightly a step down from the grenade launcher, but not as huge as it would normally be.
Yeah.
Because you're a bigger scale threat.
So yeah.
Yeah, you're still OP.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's the next tick. Then Adam is maybe what's happened is that we've like blown through their formation and out the other side and increased our range. And as we turn for another pass, Navari's using a rifle and the cannon's cracking at them again. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just like shoot as we turn, and then dive back in again among them and wreck them. So I guess, like during the turn and incidental fire phase, we can do that. And then if you want to, Navari, when we do our close pass, you can jump in, do some Black Lagoon shit, and like, get up.
Gone now.
Are
you saying to go after the grenade launcher or jumping on their boat?
Jumping on their boat.
Oh,
maybe
yeah, totally.
We'll we might have the opportunity to do that.
Seize their boat by force.
Yeah, that would be badass.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm down for whatever.
Okay, cool.
I'm just happy to be shooting.
Abraham is like harrowing them from the Zodiac, and trying to like help you, Frankie, keep them at a distance so they can't get a proper like angle of fire on the boat. So what are you doing? Frankie, you want to set up a move for Navari to like jump on one of the boats?
Yeah, I basically want to maybe act under fire. I want to like do a tight kind of bootlegger turn and do a real fast close pass on them before they can react, so Navari can just like leap onto the boat.
Nice. Yeah, that's totally acting under fire. And then Navari, you'll follow through on the move to get onto the boat.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and do that. And then Gritch, don't let me forget that you get to do a thing in the middle of all this chaos.
So I get to roll hard for cool. Am I rolling my move to do this?
You roll plus hex for this one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so Frankie, you navigate the turn perfectly. The only like it's just incidental like pinging of small arms fire off the glass. Like they've got like AKs, and one of them somebody is like up on the rail of the boat shooting at you, and the other one's driving, but they're being held at bay by that big gun.
Nice, yeah. So yeah, with incidental, I think they're doing one, and we have one armor essentially, or more than one armor. So
okay. So this turn, Navari, you create an opportunity but haven't seized it or followed up on it yet. So you jump from the deck of the Vixen down onto these guys have like speedboats basically, and you jump down onto one of the speedboats as you come up next to it. But you'll have to wait a second to be able to like get the gun on them. But they're startled as fuck. Like the angel of death has descended from above and landed on their boat. And the guy with the AK is like firing it, and he like turns, and actually I think it's Monk, right? Like he's shooting and he turns and he just like looks at you like, oh fuck! Like it's like he's seeing the headlights of a speeding car coming towards him. And what are you doing, Gritch?
I'm going to stay the fuck down.
Okay, good call. All right, roll plus to sharp.
Nice.
Yeah, 10 plus. You come under no fire. Where are you staying the fuck down at?
I think I like duck below. Or well, maybe there's a spot like in the bridge where I can just like hide behind something and be out of the way enough.
Okay, sure.
Like I was looking out the windows before, trying to get a sense of like what's going on here and like what do I need to be watching out for, and then I'm just like fuck this, and I hide behind like a chair or something.
Okay.
Pull some piece of metal. Like.
All right, so I know you just added her to your crew and everything, and I love Abraham, but.
Abraham.
As you turn the boat around, right, and you head that direction, and everything's going great, and Navari jumps something, you hear the panicked sound of the like Zodiac's like air horn going off, And when you turn, you see that from one of the buildings nearby, this like huge black gunboat, like bristling with like spikes and stuff, has come out from behind. And looking around now, we get the like the Steadicam shot or whatever of like several more of these boats like pulling out, and you see like maybe like 4 of them. They're not all as big as this one. And unquestionably, these are raider boats. Like these are the coast raiders. They should not be here, but here they are. And so Abraham is like panicking, and you turn and you see the Zodiac as one of their cannons like swivels, and she goes, boom, and she just a burst of water, and she just disappears.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Damn it. we hardly knew her.
Yeah, you missed something important. It was the raider ambush.
Nice.
So now what do you do? Yeah, these boats, these raider boats, are like the boat equivalent of like the war rig. Like they're big, they're engineered for battle and to look like terrifying. Like they have like spikes all over them and like, yeah, big nasty looking things.
Okay, so there's 4 of them?
Yeah. One big one and then 3 smaller ones.
Okay. Frankie is going to...
Altogether, they constitute a 4-harm, medium, savage, 2-armor gang.
Shit, okay. So they're roughly the same as us with Navari, I guess, kind of.
It takes 30 people to match that.
Right, yeah. Well, maybe they're a little tougher, I guess, but okay. So I need to switch into War Frankie. What would War Frankie do?
Did I actually blow up the rocket launcher? Or just
it was just a one-shot grenade launcher, and then it and everything on the boat.
Okay, I'm not worried about Navari. Like, I wouldn't do anything like, oh no, Navari's, on this other boat and explode. Like, I wouldn't worry about her at all. So, I've driven the Vixen past the Mercer's boats. Navari's jumped off.
Mm-hmm.
These other boats are like sort of perpendicular. They're coming out like broadsides to me. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, well, why don't we make a map? Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Do I have 2 harm right now? Is that right?
Everybody except Frankie should be at no harm from the resting time.
Okay.
Yeah, Frankie has 2 because Frankie can't get rid of those 2.
Yeah,
I got harmed from the maelstrom and harmed from the boat.
No, I think you're okay because you had time to rest and stuff.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Mostly unharmed. Okay, so let me pull you all over to the map. Use the map. Voyage Battle. Okay. Give us a nice blue background. There we go. Because it's the ocean. All right. So if... Let me just zoom out here. If this is Mercer's Hold, there's like several other buildings kind of like around the hold.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are, let's make green. So y'all are kind of here-ish. So you'd come in kind of this way and then turned around to like get up on their boat.
Yeah.
And then I'll put in boats for Mercer and for the Raiders. So Mercer 1 and Mercer 2, move them in place. So Mercer 1 is right up alongside you. Mercer 2 is like here. And then so the big guy, the big warboat is going over here. And then the smaller ones are coming out from around these buildings.
Okay, I see.
So they were kind of like waiting, and they're sort of out in range now. You can see them.
They're springing their trap. They're surrounded us.
Yeah, and actually, I guess the big warboat and the small one would be on this side because they're waiting, and you're pulling around, so they look like you're pulling away.
Are they
now
Mercer's warboats, or is this a different?
These are raiders. These are the people that Jericho used to belong to.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna make Mercer's boats yellow because the red's a little hard to see.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, if you want to know what their intent is or what's going on here, you could try to read them as your action. But yeah, what's everybody doing?
So I'm going to draw it on here.
Okay.
I can change my, there we go. I'll just stay red, whatever.
Okay.
I want to do this and turn right and do a close pass on this small warboat. So I'm in the line of fire from the big warboat. So it's shooting at both of us. Yeah, like that. Yep, just like that.
Cool.
So what I think I'm doing the two-parter maneuver. I wanna like act under fire to get in position the way I want, and then attack. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Or like, I guess what I'm doing is maybe I'm acting under fire to draw the warboat's fire on the small warboat, and then I'm gonna make the turn and attack the big warboat.
Okay. So let's do it one thing at a time. So this, yeah, okay. So you want to loop around that way and come head on with the warboat. We'll see where they end up after the end of this this turn. So okay, so you're acting under fire. The fire is just like that. You can disengage from the Mercer boats, and the small warboat doesn't outmaneuver you.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay. Yeah, and also I guess my real goal here is to try to. Well, yeah, that's basically what you said.
Okay. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So
he's in the zone.
So at the end of the first turn, you're like up here, right? That was your intent to like get ready, and then the next one you'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
Down on that one. Okay.
Yep,
cool.
I'm making that turn. So theoretically, like if the big warboat has big area guns and it uses them on me, it'll hit the small warboat too, or it won't shoot. That either way that's
correct. Correct. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I mean the Vixen is good at this shit, and you are an excellent pilot. So it just like dips in and gets some torque on the water and just rips around. You spray the small warboat as you go by with a big arc of like sparkling crystal clear water, yeah, you can see on board like the smaller one. There's a pilot, and then there's someone up above manning like a smaller version of the gun that you have. Like a 50 cal or something, right? Like one of those smaller, like emplacement kind of guns.
Yeah.
And he fires at you, but doesn't manage to hit you. Just like hits the water as you spray by. Mercer 1 stays where it is. Mercer 2, well, they're gonna start to move, but we'll see where they go. And then the small warboat, yeah, can't really do anything but come in around behind you. And they're gonna try and sort of chase you down. So Navarre, you are on Mercer 1. What do you want to do?
She wants to go AFK.
Navarre's out.
No, yeah, she sure is. Okay,
forever.
Well, Gritch, what are you doing?
I successfully stayed the fuck down, so I'm just like out.
You can still, yeah. I mean, I guess you can do anything that doesn't involve getting re-engaged in the battle.
Can I like act as a lookout or like be watching things?
I think popping your head back up might mean
like
giving up your position. Yeah, but you definitely sense something has changed. So if you want to give up your position, you can.
I guess my spot isn't very safe if the boat gets sunk.
True. Yes. I mean, you would be safe at the bottom of the ocean.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Like,
well, let's
I've said this before. Like, I need a sign that says, I work from home. Don't knock on my door. Like, they need to paint my back door. Like, what? Why did I get a notice?
Stephanie, why don't you say what you're going to do, and then by then, hopefully, I'll have thought of.
Okay. Yeah. So you're on Mercer 1. You've just dropped off of the Vixen onto this little speedboat. We got a little like John Woo boat fight moment.
Totally. So I'm going to seize by force again, I guess, right? Because
yeah. So you're going to seize the boat by force.
Yeah, totally.
Seize the board. All right. Nice. You do so soundly.
So basically, I jump on, and you said it was Monk that saw me.
Yes.
I see Monk, and I can tell that he's freaked out, and I just go, "Are you ready?" And then I just shoot everybody.
Bye, Monk. Bye, Monk.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
But I have my shotgun now, so I'm just.
Yeah. Is it a sawed-off shotgun?
It is.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you come under fire too, so that's a thing that you'll have to deal with. But what do you want to choose? What are your 3 that you seize by force? What's a AK, like 3 harm?
Yes, I believe
so.
Assault rifle. Okay.
3 harm. I am going to take definite hold because I want the boat.
Definitely seize the boat. Okay.
And I am going to inflict terrible. No, I don't need to do that because I already do. Right? Didn't we?
What do you inflict? You inflict like 5 harm with a shotgun?
Or 5, yeah, 5. Which is probably enough.
Here's the thing, like you take definite hold of the boat. If you want to make sure both of the people on this boat are also dead, pick that move. Otherwise, you shoot both of them. One of them might be just like still alive and bleeding to death, but won't be able to take the boat from you.
I'll inflict terrible harm. I want them all to die.
Cool. And then do you want to impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy, which is to say the other boat?
Oh, do I get 3? Oh,
yeah, you get 3.
Yeah, totally. For sure.
Okay. All right. So you take 3 harm, less your armor.
They're not there's just 2 of them, right, Adam?
Yeah, 2 of them on this boat. So one more less.
I think that's -1 harm for the gang.
Yeah, because Navarre's a gang.
Yeah.
So that's 0 then.
So you take 2, and then
Because I have 2 armor.
2 armor. Okay. So yeah, just make the 0 hold move.
Oh,
the 0
right,
harm.
right. I always forget.
Okay. Let's see. Misnoticing something important. Lose track of something you're attending to. Lose your grip on whatever you're holding, or lose your footing. Okay. I think that what ends up happening is you're very focused on taking this boat away, and that you don't notice like what's happening with the Vixen. You just see like you hear engine noise and you see movement, but whatever it is, it's outside your vision, and you're really only focused on Mercer 2 right now. So maybe you still haven't even really noticed the warboats yet. You're just like dealing with the Mercer problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Cool.
Good.
Okay. All right.
In the
so. Gritch, did you decide what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think as I realized that this problem is bigger than what it originally seemed to be, I'm gonna like stand up in the bridge, and I'm like take stock of the situation and like see all this crazy shit happening, and I'm gonna try to help Frankie out by like acting as a lookout. So I think initially that'll be me reading the situation, and then on the next tick I might
do the thing. Okay, do it. Woo!
Wow.
Damn rolls.
Do you have that opened, Andrew?
No.
Okay.
Wow, yeah, that would be handy, wouldn't it?
That would be cool.
Okay, so what should I be on the lookout for?
So I think you pop your head up and you look around and you see these warboats popping up from their hiding place. They're not here for you. The 2 of these boats over here, their trajectory is straight for Mercer's Hold.
Oh.
And so, which enemy is the biggest threat?
All right, so you're casting your glances around and shit, and you see up on the big warboat, on the front, on like the prow, somebody's body has been like impaled on the spikes, and it takes you a second, and there's a sense of like panic first before you're like, you kind of recognize them, and then your brain settles in the features because you're not used to seeing this person impaled on the front of the boat. It's Eugene. And then as you scan up to the prow of the boat, you see nothing standing on the boat next to like one of the raiders. So, yep, that's the position of your true enemy.
Terrifying.
So what would be my best way in?
To where?
To where nothing is.
Like onto the warboat? Well, you're headed that way now. I mean, it would, yeah, you'd have to get Frankie to orchestrate another Navari maneuver to get you onto the boat, but being alone
Are there like a ton of dudes on the boat?
A relative ton, right? Yeah, there's probably like a half dozen guys on that boat alone.
Okay. Would it be possible for us to get close enough for me to like give him the brainwaves though?
To try to go. Yeah.
The boat?
I think if you orchestrate it with Frankie, that might
like pull up next to them or whatever. Yeah.
You could try. I mean, they have big fuck off guns, and it's a very dangerous maneuver to get that close.
Their boats are also covered in spikes. Well, anyways, it's good.
Yeah, the boats are all covered in spikes. So, yeah, you could say to. I guess this is the thing. You could try to convince Frankie to do that. If you say to Frankie, like, "Get me close. Nothing's on that boat." Maybe it'll be up to Frankie.
Okay. Well, that's my move. So,
all right,
Adam. Did the big warboat shoot at us when we made our move, or did it hold its fire?
Well, you were acting under fire to not get shot at, right? So
I was acting under fire to not get shot.
True.
Whether or not they shot at us is a question I don't know.
No, the big warboat, I think, is shooting primarily at Mercer targets.
Okay.
So I think they took the shot. They're taking time to like reload those big guns now, but you can see that they're assembling like a party on the deck, right? Like they look like they're ready to board, probably the hold, rather than like we're gonna show up and blow everybody up. It just happens to be that you're here in the middle of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, what does Gritch say to Frankie? You're muted.
What an uncharacteristic error in muting. So like as Gritch is looking around, they're like, shit, they're not here for us. And like I make it clear that that the raiders are here, like coming for Mercer, like they're here for the same thing we are.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I'm sure it's exactly the same thing.
Totally the same thing.
Close enough.
Okay, so
that's all I say out loud at this point.
Yeah, when I take quick stock, I think I can like confirm that because they didn't shoot at us. I don't have the full picture like Rich does exactly, but do you tell me you want to get closer?
Nope.
Okay. In that case, interesting choice here. Like what's ticking in Frankie's mind right now is they're not shooting at us. They seem to be attacking the hold, possibly. Maybe we do that together and then sort them out after, but she doesn't know that it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, since she doesn't know that, I think nothing really changes. She keeps, continues her maneuver, and makes a run on the big warboat.
Okay.
They're not here for us, but she's just like, fuck it. Like,
they're still assholes.
Yeah,
Let's kill them.
These raiders are a big problem, and I'm not just going to turn my back on them and hope they don't shoot us again. So she just doubles down.
Okay. So what's your intent here, Frankie?
Yeah, so I want to. I want to open fire on them and try to end up behind over here. Can I do it? Can I ping?
You should be able to hold left click and it'll.
Oh, I hold it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do like a real tight attack run on them. This.
Mm-hmm.
And then go like this, and maybe pick up the next one, the small warboat to the north, and just keep going. But what I'm trying to do is like attack and maneuver. So yeah, like that. So not everyone is shooting at me at once. Maybe
right.
one of them is.
Okay. So you're gonna run straight at the big warboat. Hopefully, if there's crossfire, the big warboat will hit the smaller one instead of you, and then go past it and kind of like loop around the building.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is like, this is always the classic question, right? Is it act under fire, go aggro, or is it seize by force? I
don't think it doesn't sound like seize by force because you're being too like dodgy,
sort of tactical.
Like, yeah, tactical about it. Yeah. It sounds like go aggro, right? Because what you want to do, like if they suck it up, then they're gonna end up. If they want to shoot you, they're gonna also have to suck it up and hit the small warboat too.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
But if you get what you want, they won't be able to hit you, and they'll take harm.
Right. But I really need that 10+ because on a 7 to 9 they can kind of mitigate what I'm doing. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's roll with it then.
Now, do I get Gritch's read bonus acting on one of your answers, or is that
it's whenever you act?
Well, yeah.
I could help, presumably, with providing like spotting.
Read bonus is simpler, but whatever, it's fine. I'll just roll with this.
I'm sure you won't need my help.
Probably not. I've been but it's all right.
Wow, still very good.
This is the thing I'm best at in the world. So
yeah, this is your shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So their choice is to force your hand and suck it up, which is to say harm happens and you end up in a position where you are good. If they cave, I guess that means what? Like, what do these two options look like for you? Like, I feel like there's one where you take some damage and they take more.
No,
and you're in a better position, or how does it shake out?
Yeah, so on a 10+, it's the same for them. They suck it up and take my harm, or do what I want, which is take my harm.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's just the
best. It's all very one-sided.
Yeah,
but what you want also includes some positional stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is about like getting past them.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So how much harm does your boat gun do?
It does 5.
Okay.
And it's area.
Okay. All right, so the Vixen is looking at. See, I wonder if seize by force makes more sense because they can shoot back at you.
Well, that was the thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't feel like this is one-sided violence. So,
yeah.
Well, so it could have been one-sided violence if my maneuver went correctly, which we roll that into a single go aggro.
Sure.
Instead of acting under fire first.
Well, do you want to just, because it's the same bonus for act under fire, right?
Yeah, it is. That's true.
Okay, so let's just, this is your act under fire, and then you can do that.
Okay, so right. So basically, I just pulled off the maneuver I wanted to pull off.
Yeah.
And now I'm going aggro on them with my gun.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Where they can't easily shoot back at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the act under fire allows you to go aggro rather than having to seize by force.
Yes, right. That's what I was driving.
That makes more sense.
It's equivalent to pulling up behind someone in like an airplane dogfight where like they're really exposed and you can
exactly. Instead of doing this like head-on pass, I sort of like skirted with the small warboat behind me so they don't shoot and then hit them as I go.
You make a Jack Porkins out of them.
Exactly. People in chat want the Frankie maneuver, and that's the Frankie maneuver. I drag your ally into my wake so you don't fire, and then I open up on you. That's the Frankie maneuver. Now watch my dice finally betray me.
Oh, not today.
On fire.
All right, so this is where they take the harm.
This is where they take the harm, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, five area messy.
Okay, and so they're a medium gang, and they have 2 armor.
So that means, let's see, the area bumps me up 1, but they're medium, that's 2. So that's -1 harm. And then minus their armor. So
okay, so they take 2 harm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the raiders overall take 2, and I think that what happens is that it's less about your gun. Like your gun does damage to the big warboat. Like you peg the side as you go by, and when they fire back, it goes wide and it hits the small warboat, and that's where most of the damage comes from.
Nice.
So this boat is I'm gonna just put here like it can't move. It's disabled. So it gets hit and then ends up like drifting out this way and then just hanging out there, and you blow past.
Frankie maneuver.
All right. Well, let's get one more action from each of y'all, and then we'll take another break. So, Navarre, you are on boat Navarre now.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I am running down Mercer 2.
Okay.
To inevitably kill them.
So what is your plan here? Do you just like, because Mercer 2, they're frightened, dismayed, and impressed. So they're like panicking a little bit.
I'm just getting as close to them as I can, and I'm gonna try and shoot them with the sniper, and then if they run away, I don't know.
So do you want to, like the hunting rifle, you would need to like brace it probably and just shoot from where you are. Or you could just do a drive-by with the shotgun.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I just want to get close and pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of the same deal. You're going to need to act under fire.
Okay.
And then if you do, you can go aggro versus seizing by force. Or if you want to, like if you don't care about getting shot at, you can just drive straight at them and seize by force right out the gate.
Well, I roll hard both times. So
point of mechanics question, Adam. Because she just made her frighten them, does that create the opportunity for her to get close, or she's still under fire during that?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Like they're not going to be maneuvering. I think they're panicking. Why don't you tell me, Navarre, in a perfect world, how this plays out?
I think they were close enough. They just saw me blow up everybody on their boat, take the boat, and then come straight at them. So they're probably like have no idea what to do.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
No, you know what? I think what happens here is they try to surrender, probably. They're probably like, they see you, and then they see what you do to Monk and the other one, and they like drop their weapons and like put their hands up. And if you want to, you can just like pull up beside them and shoot them or whatever.
I mean, I'm going to kill them because that was the point.
Okay.
So, yeah, I pull up beside them and just shotgun everybody.
Okay, yeah, I think that they think that you're coming over to like accept their surrender, right? They put their hands up and you pull up beside them and you're just like, poof, poof, and they both just die and fall into the boat.
That sounds right.
Okay.
That's the Navari maneuver.
That sounds. My
So
enemies
is this
fall
a go
apart.
aggro then?
You don't even have to roll.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they're helpless, right? You dismayed and frightened them.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
like, no, please, and
I
you
see.
just pull up and are like
Yeah.
dead.
There's no prisoners
Crack.
in this war.
Yeah, you just like crack the shotgun, throw the shells in the water, and away you go. All right,
Yeah.
cool. And Gritch,
Was any of those guns worth anything? Should I raid? I'm just kidding.
what do you want to do, Gritch?
I think I'm just trying to avoid being shot at this point.
Okay.
Like, I don't see a good opportunity to accomplish anything, so I'll just stay the fuck down again.
Okay. No,
a shit
you will
job at
not.
it. So I'm like exposed to harm or something.
Yes. So on a miss, you have to break position now or come under concentrated fire.
Oh man.
So I think, yeah, while this is happening, Frankie is doing a great job protecting the boat or whatever, but you're standing in a tactically suboptimal position, and maybe one of the raiders on the boat, as you drive by, like fires at you, or maybe as you pass the small warboat, fires the 50 cal at the bridge. And this is just very much like you are exposed to danger. So what do? When you're like, you realize that your hiding spot is not going to work now because it's in an open arc of fire.
Maybe I probably panic and like dive out of the area, like try to just like get below decks or something. Like,
okay, so you just make a run for it across the like open area to the stairs to get you below ground. Okay, yeah, act under fire.
Cool.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Well done.
Better at that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you avoid being shot at. The 50 cal's going off and like hitting the bridge wall beside you.
Which is just like sprinting for
slide down the ladder and just like dive under as the you can hear the hull like resounding with the heavy shots.
Yeah, I've like pulled off this really close pass and like made this really high G turn to protect the boat, and I don't really think about Gritch's position in the bridge
or your own safety.
Like, this is perfect. Their shots aren't going to hit anything important.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I mean, that was the last tick of the like battle with Mercer's patrol, which is perfect. It's all over. Let's take a break here, and we'll pick up and deal with the Raider situation. Whether it's going to be a different battle or something else, we'll pick that up when we come back.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hang out, everybody. See you in a bit.